Welcome, gamers, to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We're on episode 235. Today is August 11th. My name is Craig Prowse, and joining me is Mandrew Montemayor after a much long needed vacation.
Hey, we're almost another year down.
I was thinking about that the other day too. I'm like, man, it's August, and August is cruising, and then this year's gonna be over, man, and there's another one down in the books.
Well, I go, it goes by so fast for me, I feel like, because my son now is like just that living reminder of how much time's flying by.
Yeah, I did want to shout out that I got back from vacation, but I did want to give a little bit of some shout outs just so people at home can know. Is I was out there for my dad's birthday, which is what started my trip to Portland, Oregon and Seaside, and then my nephew Grayson's birthday. But then, as Andrew knows, me and Sam got engaged on our vacation. So
Lame.
moving forward, I'm slowly joining the club of being a man, Andrew, and I was gonna say, you're still liking it, right? You're still enjoying it. There's nothing to be scared over.
But bro, being married, having a kid, being a family man's the best thing I've ever done, bro.
That's the next step, man. Is aiming for the kid, setting the day, and then just having a big old party where everybody can come down and do it. But I did want to give a shot. I wanted to make sure it was on the books and say love you to Sam. So that was what I was doing over this big long vacation, guys. But we are back, and if you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. If you guys are interested in following us on social media, our Linktree link is in the description. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram and on Twitter. And if you guys are interested in the audio only version of the podcast, we do that, and you can find that on your podcast platform of choice. So with that being said, guys, we'd like to do off the top, where Andrew and I take a second. We talk about some stories that have popped out since it's been a couple weeks. We'll just kind of hit a couple things, and if you knew about it, you knew about it. If not, you didn't. But this one popped up today. I didn't even really have time to write notes because it popped up a little earlier, and we didn't get a chance to talk about this. But the Lord of the Rings War in the North Legacy Edition shadow dropped today. Has officially shadow dropped. It was published by Aspire. This surprise remaster of the 2011 hack and slash action RPG brings the dark, gritty campaign back to modern platforms. And it's funny because we were just talking about a couple of episodes back with what games we want kind of remastered. And I was bringing up Lord of the Rings games, like the old Two Towers, the old Third Age, War of the North. So I actually went online to check it. It's out right now. You can get it. It's 19.99. I bought it on Xbox though, so I think with the Game Pass or something gave me a discount. It was only 17.99. So if you're interested in getting it, definitely check it out. It's completely revamped. It's got all the old cutscenes, all the voice acting. They've set up a solo campaign, and I believe you can do it online now with multiplayer. So I haven't really had a chance to dive too much into it, but it is out now. Did you ever play War of the North, Andrew? Is that something that was on your radar?
No, I didn't see that one. When I saw it stealth drop, I'm like, oh man, I hope that's usually not a good sign.
You don't think it's a good sign? But what about I thought we were getting good signs of some good shadow drops these days.
When's the last one? Oblivion?
There you go. Yeah, didn't you like Oblivion?
Well, yeah, but that's different.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna end up playing. Oh, so I do got to point out though. I went to go play it today, but the achievements, it says there was no supported achievements. And when I googled it just to make sure,
That's already not a good
there's
sign.
well, there is gonna be achievements on it, but they said they're just not uploaded yet. So I'm gonna give it another day or two, and then I'll start on it. But if you were interested in it and or you heard about it and you weren't sure if it was out, it is out. So the other off the top was that Grounded 2 just had a big new update called Into the Abyss. Let me read this real quick. The next major update for Grounded 2 is the massive Into the Abyss update launching on August 11th, which is today. This release coincides with the game's official debut on the PlayStation 5, so it's now going on to Sony, and brings major overhauls to underwater exploration, base building, and movement across Brook Hollow Park. So these are kind of the new overhauls. Swimming 2.0, completely revamped underwater controls with a clear visibility filter, smooth movement matching land traversal, and a multi-directional dash for combat. Underwater base building, new amphibious buggy, tame and ride the new toe biter buggy, which seamlessly zooms across both dry land and underwater depths. And it also has new gear and survival mechanics. I bring that up because when Andrew and I, when Grounded 1 came out, Andrew and I were both playing it, and we still have a bunch of friends that do play it. Deandra still plays it, Melissa still plays it, Devin Collins still plays it.
Collins here.
Yeah, so I'm glad it's really doing well because for me, I always thought Grounded 1, everything they added on was just going to kind of build upon it. the fact that they launched a Grounded 2 and it's actually doing really well, just to put in comparison. So Grounded 2 launched into early access at $29.99 on July 9th of 2025, outperforming the launch engagement of the original Grounded. It surpassed 3 million players with 2 weeks and hit nearly 50,000 peak concurrent users on Steam on day one, beating the first game's peak of roughly 32,000 players. So I just wanted to bring that to people's attention. The new trailer came out. If you're watching on YouTube, you guys can see that now. It looks really scary. I know we kind of fell off of Grounded 2, but are you ever interested in jumping back in, or are you surprised that it's still moving forward?
I might one day, but it's just not for me. But I'm not like a big like base builder kind of person. So I spend all day like managing resources and doing this and that. So the last thing I'm gonna do is come home and like just manage more. So it's just not for me.
I hear you on that. I did want to give a shout out though because Deandra was talking to me about it because so I guess she was in a group on Facebook and I guess dude because again that's where I love going to for if you're playing a game a good group on Facebook you can kind of see what everybody's posting. I guess a lot of people there were some internal issues and they got out and started making their own group and they pulled like 13 people. The group that she's running now on Facebook is over like I think 6 or 9 thousand people now on her Grounded page. So I think Collins is part of it and Melissa's part of it. So they you
Oh,
can
that's cool.
clearly see the community is alive and healthy. So if
Yeah, for
you
sure. It's definitely a game that for randomly just did well.
yeah, and I think the hook was always there, right? Because everyone was always Honey I Shrunk the Kids and a really cool base builder. So if you guys were interested in more Grounded, that is out today and you can start playing it. The other off the top that I wanted to point out with, and I don't know if you heard this, Andrew, but I'm sure maybe it crossed your ears, is that GTA 6 is going to do an extended look, but it's starting first on Netflix. So Netflix does not have the game GTA 6 to play or Steam. Instead, Netflix has partnered with Rockstar Games to exclusively premiere an extended look preview on GTA 6 on August 27th of this later on this month before it goes public on YouTube, which launches on at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So it's a really weird paywall to have a look at GTA 6 behind a movie Netflix subscription. And then I thought the other weirder thing too was that 6 hours later, it's going to be on YouTube. So I just thought it was kind of weird. So if you do have Netflix and you're interested in seeing something, I guess before YouTubers get to see it, you can watch GTA 6. But did this strike you as odd, or is it just kind of because what did Netflix have to pay to get this? I mean, what's the point?
Yeah, and then even still, Take Two taking that deal seems kind of like I don't want to say scumbaggy, but because they're already kind of like people like talking shit about them for the game being like $100, but now like oh here's a paywall to see our game. So like your diehard fans, you know people are gonna pay it. There's tons of people like they act like GTA 6 is like the second coming that they're just gonna. I'll check it out, but that's because I already have Netflix. But I would never go out of my way. There is no game that could be on there. Even if they did Ocarina of Time, here's the early preview on I Pornhub Premium, and I had to fucking pay for a premium account. I would not go out of my way to create and pay for an account for a whole month for whatever, no matter how cheap it is, just to do it on principle. On principle, but what I will do is talk shit about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it because I mean, I would have expected to at least have 24 hours, 72 hours of before YouTube. But like, what is the
It's just
point of
such a
six
colossal
hours?
game that 6 hours, like they know their fan base is going to pay that. Like there is no world with how much people love that game that they don't want to be. Not to mention, like the people that make content too are going to watch it, and even though they can't re-upload it, they can use old trailers. Be like, I just got done watching the preview, guys, and like the people who
Yeah,
over
yeah,
dramatize shit.
the fake mind blown kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
I am curious once August 27th passes of what the numbers do and what comes out of that. But if you're interested in it, there you go. So that's all I had for off the top, unless there's anything else you had or anything else you wanted to throw in there.
nah, I didn't see too many like other big ones today.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I didn't have this, but I did see because we were talking about the God of War, how that Ryan Hurst got his bicep torn and he wasn't going to be in it. They're saying now that Batista has been officially cast as Kratos. So there's another feather in your cap. Didn't you call
Oh,
Batista? Didn't you say that?
is that official? I think maybe
If
I
it's
did
not
say that.
official, then I think it's about to cross the finish line. So I just remember that because I was listening to something earlier. So if you guys are at home or watching, leave in the comments down below if that ended
I
up
think you
being
could do God of War and Gears of War.
I would. Hey, there you go. So, with that being said, guys, that's our off the top. Leave down below if you're interested in any of that. So, let's move into our main story, guys, and that is the Halo campaign Evolved has finally come out, released on July 28th of 2026. Halo campaign Evolved is launched at $49.99, an Unreal Engine 5 remake of the 2001 classic developed by Halo Studios. Reviews are generally mixed to positive, praising the gorgeous technical overhaul and nostalgic gameplay while noting the absence of traditional multiplayer and repetitive legacy level design. So, one of the things I know it is getting criticized for is that it doesn't have its multiplayer, but we knew that well
Going
before the
in.
game ever came out. So I find it weird that people are holding that against it. To be honest with you, man, the game looks really good, even though I know there are issues with some of the cutscenes and some of the models and the figures. It's been so long since I played Halo 1. To me, it felt like a brand new kind of game going into it. I played it with my brother.
Halo
Um,
One's always been my least favorite.
yeah, but we had fun going through it. It was fun. It was kind of more fun just bullshitting with everybody. So we'll dive into kind of everything that it had on it. But did you beat it with it? Because I just recently beat it. Did you beat it with your brothers or anybody like that? Did you play it solo?
No, I'm playing with my wife and one of my brothers right now,
Oh,
and then
cool.
sometimes one of the other one will jump in. So we are going at a slow, steady pace because we have to do it together. But we're also doing it on legendary.
Oh, nice. There you go. Yeah, me and Gino
So
ran through it. I think on normal or easier. So I was just trying to get it done because I'm not going to go back and play it. So Andrew, I know
normally that's
you're
what I would do.
yeah, you're big of a Halo guy. So if there's anything you want to talk about, I have written down. I have the weapons, the visuals, the dialogue, and I know everyone's a big fan of the skulls and things like that. So take it wherever you want to go with how you want to review it.
Actually, I was gonna say if you want to go first, because it seems like you like it more than I
Oh,
do.
I thought
I
it was
feel like
okay.
I'm.
I mean, I had a good time playing it. I would just say this: it was cool seeing the revisuals on it. For me, I had no problem with it. I thought it looked really cool. The again, it's been so long that I know they redid some of the audio and the dialogue. I liked it. I know there's been issues with a lot of people trying because I think one of the achievements is to beat it on legendary with all the skulls and stuff turned on, right? And I think right now there's a glitch to where I forget what exactly it is, but you can kind of scum save it and you can kind of beat it. And I think there's
Oh
people
yeah.
getting 100% on that. That's really all I got. It was a lot of fun playing with somebody. I mean, me and Jenna were just old school shit talking, running around, shooting stuff. The very end was super nostalgic when you're on the Jeep and you're just ramping off. Dude, me and him were just yelling at each other the whole time, trying to get out of the base. So for me, it was badass. I mean, I have a couple things on some numbers that I want to point out, but if you want to go over what you have, shoot.
You know what I'm saying? For me, I think I have more negatives than positives right
Okay.
now. So for me, it's gonna sound like I'm shitting on the game, but I kind of am. But it comes from a place of love. And again, Halo to me, Halo One is like the one that I played the least because that is the one where it's like muddy, hard to see. It was older. I played Halo Two a ton of times, Halo Three a ton of times, and to me, like even if you just go bit by bit, like we could start graphically, yeah, it looks good. There are lots of things that look good, but there's a lot that doesn't look good. Like Johnson looks like Steve Harvey for like some reason. I see that comparison like a lot. But I think one of the bigger problems for me is that the game runs perfectly fine unless you're in a cutscene. The cutscenes run like shit. And normally I don't ever complain about this sort of stuff. But when this is like a premium story only game, campaign only, and the cutscenes are like stuttering,
Yeah,
and and
stilted.
it's and it's not just this is a Halo issue because I'm actually playing Beast of Reincarnation right now, and that is a big problem for me too. Is during the cutscenes, it's like stuttering all over the place. I'm like, what the hell? Like you don't stutter when I'm playing you, and I guess that's a better point. Like, okay, cool, it runs good when I'm playing you, but like you can't even get this right. It's just like it's kind of crazy. But there's lots of it's just lots of like little things that add up to like big things. Like there's weird music choices in some of like. Did you play the newer missions at all?
I did. I was gonna actually I was gonna ask you about that afterwards. I thought the new missions were kind of a waste of time.
Yeah, they're not good. Yeah, we can just start with that. They're not good. There's no point to doing them, and I'm not even like gonna hate on the Williams chick where everyone's like, oh, it's the woke, the tough girl boss character, whatever. It's not even that. She's just not a good character. Like you could have a good chick character, like we've had like Keys, or even you had Cat in like Halo Reach, so they can do good female characters. It's just not good, and like the missions you're doing are kind of like pointless. But at one point when you're doing it they add like this weird, I don't know, guitar that's not. I don't know. It sounds like a pop song or something like that playing in like the background or whatever. But this is by far my biggest problem with the game is the new missions because I think it's hopefully not indicative of a bigger issue. Is the campaign you can make one for one. That's fine. So if there's bad choices in there, I can't the story's shit. That wouldn't mean anything for the future because you just copied the story. This was your chance to prove, hey, this is new content that we're doing. We're showing you that we understand Halo, we get Halo, and this is what you can look forward to in the future. And the new missions are by far the absolute worst part. So
I would
that's why
agree
I'm
with
just
that.
like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, like this has me zero hype for whatever is going to be coming from the future because it sucks and it just doesn't make any sense. Like that's the biggest problem for me. Is it just it's nothing. It really is just nothing. Even the weird flying mission that they added in there, I'm like, bro, this is like terrible. Like this is like the most annoying part. On legendary, it's not hard because you don't die. But maybe I got more annoyed because I had to do it twice because my brother disconnected, and if you disconnect, you have to quit and start the mission over from the very beginning
Oh
and do it again.
no.
Otherwise, you don't get the achievement. And we didn't know that, so we had to. So we beat the mission, so I essentially had to do the flying thing 3 times. I'm like, okay, definitely on the third replay. Like this just it sucks.
Yeah, it seems like obviously for adding new things to the Halo, which is like what should be like their flagship game, it seemed like it went in a kind of weird direction. I mean, it was kind of cool to see the Needler rifle. That was kind of a cool gun.
Yeah, there are cool additions. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, it's interesting that they added a space combat, but when the space combat's not, at least I mean, I'm with you. Maybe some people do find it enjoyable. I thought it was if you cut it out, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't think the game needed it whatsoever. So
It's not a cool ending to what should be a segment like riding the warthog off of an explosion
yeah,
or whatever.
and
It just
yeah,
seems like for every good addition, like like the needler or the weapons that make sense per this timeline, like I get that, but there's lots of like bad ones too. Because even when you're playing and you see it more in the newer missions, is they've almost kind of made like Johnson and Chief like more like a buddy cop duo like comedy or whatever,
yeah,
and
joking around with each other.
I'm like, this wasn't like that before in any event, at least that I remember. Where is that jokey? Or like, could you imagine a role where like Johnson's like, oh, it's something about dinner, blah blah blah, and she's like, you're always hungry. Like, I was like, bro, what the fuck is this,
Yeah, we can stop the monologue. We got places to go.
bro?
Yeah.
Speaking of I'll stop shitting on it after this. Maybe, hopefully.
Oh, we're
The
not done.
worst part of it, sorry, spoilers, is when you do the prequel mission, Johnson has this big ass rifle that you can't use, and he hardly fucking uses it. But you literally run into a prophet right at the start that starts fucking monologuing like, "You'll
Yeah, that's
never
what I was
stop
quoting.
us,"
Yeah.
and the whoever, and they're like introducing these guys like they're the fucking Ginyu Force or something. And it's like, in what world would you not have just taken in any of the Halos, just taken the shot and kill the Prophet? One of the most sought after targets that they are trying to kill is sitting in front of you, and you're just letting him monologue and talk for whatever reason. And even the lead up to that cutscene is terrible because Chief and Johnson are like hiding behind something, and the Covenant are just doing this. It's such a weird. Go back and watch it.
Yeah, no, I know exactly
It's
what you're talking about. I thought
where
that was a weird
they're
scene too.
standing there
Yeah.
like shooting all weird and stuff like that. I'm like, what the fuck is this, man? Like, I'm literally so bummed. I'm having a good time playing it,
Right. For
but
like
there's
the
just lots of
stupidity
little
of it.
things. I think my problem is not so much that I'm hating this, but there's just so many things that I'm like, okay, well, what about the future now? Because now the future just seems like it's fucked.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's like it seems that they don't really know what hands that they're putting Halo in and what direction they're going to move in because clearly everything they've added on is really, I would say, more mixed to not to dislike than anybody really enjoying it. And then to not to, I mean, we've already had the Halo 2's been already remastered, right? And when you had I think Blur was the one making like the cutscenes and all this stuff like that. So when you're using
Which I felt like those look better than these.
exactly, that's what I'm saying. So like the older game looks and runs better than the newer game. So it's
Not
kind
just
of
the
weird.
older game, it's like what, like 7, 8, 10 years older now?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, close to a decade. And it's one of these things where it's like, okay, well, what direction are we moving forward? Especially knowing that there's no Halo project in development at the moment. So it's really kind of like, why drop this right now? Which didn't really make a whole lot of sense outside of the fact that this is the first time that it's been on that they launched it on PlayStation. So obviously they were trying to get into those numbers and try to get into that ecosystem. And I just wanted to read this real quick to show how PlayStation has been doing. So the PS5 launch figures were around 351,000 copies sold in July, climbing to roughly 452 units shortly after the release, and the generated close to $28 million of revenue so far. Compared to the Xbox and PC, which moved roughly 900 units on Microsoft platforms and around 212,000 on Steam. So we all knew that that was coming, that they wanted to get into the PlayStation ecosystem. But I think it's kind of clear that maybe this wasn't the best game to do it with, and especially that there's really nothing following it. Because when you look at games that are like nostalgia that people want to go back and play, you could argue a lot of people want to play Halo, but it didn't really seem like the numbers were there because when you have something like Call of Duty Black Ops that just came out and Black Ops 2 that were coming over from the PS4 and PS5, those sold Black Ops 2 I think did 8.2 million
Those did numbers.
and Black Ops 1 did like 8.2 and 3.1 million. So it's like there's a difference when you look at real old school nostalgia games like Call of Duty that everybody showed up for, and even with the new addition of adding PlayStation to the Halo audience, that it just kind of, I don't want to say fell flat because it did, people bought it, but when you're talking about what was going to be more healthier, I think they had higher hopes for Halo, and Halo just kind of fell flat.
I wonder if it really is because it was like campaign only that maybe those numbers seemed like a little bit skewed. Like people would have jumped on board more if there was maybe some sort of multiplayer aspect. Because at least Call of Duty,
Has the zombies
Black
and
Ops 1
stuff.
and 2 were locked to PS1. So on PlayStation, there was no other, or not PlayStation 1, they were locked to PS3
Yeah.
that they weren't on anything else. On Xbox, you could always, you could play those now. I can boot that up right now. You've been able to play it for years. Halo, you could play on computer, you can play it now, you can play it on uh, the Halo 2, I forget what it is now.
Oh, the Master Chief Collection?
Yeah, the Master Chief Collection has everything. So there's like 10 different ways to play this. Not to mention, there's already a remastered version of this too. So this is almost like it's the remake to the remaster or whatever. That I wonder if that plays
I
any
think it does. I think it
part in
does.
it.
I think it does. Yeah, I think it was just maybe I don't want to say the wrong time to launch it because when was ever going to be a good time, but knowing that there was going to be no multiplayer, it was really just like people are going to buy it just to play the how long is the campaign? 8 hours, six
I
hour
think
campaign.
personally what they should have done if they don't know what to do with Halo and it would probably be the time because Steve Downs is like what, like 80 years old or something. So like you would kind of have to start looking for maybe like a new voice or something moving forward. As much as I love him, not saying that he can't do it, but if anything were to happen to him, you know what I mean, would have been to, especially because it seems like obviously after Bungie left, that's when there's like a big dip and people don't care for Halo as much, except for you and me like Infinite, but we weren't crazy about 5 or 4. And
Yeah.
even Infinite had a lot of like stuff missing from the story, but it had a lot of cool stuff. So at the time, and maybe too, we were a little blinded by it. But either way, I still liked Infinite and I liked the
Yeah,
multiplayer
so did
components.
I.
But I think ideally, what would have been the big move, especially if you don't know what to do for the future, if you were going to remake it, you should have just done a full blown remake. Keep the core of the story and then just open it up, redo the levels, tell the same story, but make it like what people would want now versus what they wanted then, to where it still feels familiar but new and fresh. And then you change up some story elements too, and then that opens up. Okay, well now we're gonna remake two. We're gonna remake the original trilogy and then do something because it's obviously people don't care for 4, 5, and Infinite as much,
Yeah.
and that's when they started introducing like a lot more of the forerunners and the architects and the didacts and this and that, which I don't know how many people like really care for that stuff, but I feel like that's where it started really getting away from versus like, we're trying to stop these guys from using this weapon. And now it's almost the same way I feel like Resident Evil kind of like just blew up into this big fucking thing. And now instead of like being a self-contained environment, which is really where it thrived is like a story. Now it's just like we have stuff going on in Beijing, we have stuff going on in fucking Australia. We have, it's a global everywhere everything with 6, and 6 was the lowest point of the story.
Yeah, almost kind of like a Dead Space. Like keep it similar, the Dead Space remake, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
revamp the story and give us something a little bit different because yeah, I just don't think that it hit as well as they wanted it
And
to
and
hit.
when they remade that, sell it as a package. Here's our new multiplayer to go with this, whatever, blah 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 blah. And then we paved the way now for 2 and 3, and then that gives you enough time. Like, okay, we have the blueprint, we have the skeleton, we know what we're doing, we can figure out what people like and don't like, whatever, and then somebody could start thinking about the future. What are we going to do after this? Because we can't just jump to Breach. We can't just jump to ODST because then it really looks like we don't know what the fuck we're doing. Like, let's, now we could start brainstorming and put little breadcrumbs here in 2, 3, whatever. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I feel. Oh, I was gonna say too because they did add a couple other things to like sprint was obviously one of the bigger things. So I think they did make some choices that were good. I know the plasma pistol I think can start messing up. I think it could hit something that it couldn't hit before and do it. They did you try the new skull with the third person view? Did you turn
No,
that
I,
one at all
I,
on?
I don't think I've unlocked that one. I haven't found it yet.
Oh, okay. So it's actually just in case anyone was looking for it. In the very beginning of the game, in the very like first level, you can drop in down. You can turn around and drop behind um, uh, the sergeant guy, and it's right down. The skull's right in the beginning. So it's one of the first skulls you can get. I want to try it because me and Gino tried it. He actually really liked the third person view. I didn't really care for it because for me it needed to be that first person, but you'd have to Google it. It's really easy to find, but it is very in like the first level or two. So if you are interested in trying it, go back and snag that. So that's probably all I got for Halo, unless there's anything else you want to add.
No, it's the same for me. Like again, there's lots that I'm enjoying, and maybe that's because I'm playing with people that I really love playing with, and we're having a good time. Just throwing ourselves into the meat grinder and whatever. That there is lots of fun to be had here, but like as an overall experience, and like more so looking for the future, that I'm just like, nah, like this just ain't it.
Nice. So guys, leave down your thoughts below of what you thought of the Halo campaign, or if you're interested in jumping into the Halo
I'll
campaign.
say if you
So
like it and think I'm wrong, go ahead. I would love to talk about it.
debate him. The next one, we don't got to dive too much into it. I just kind of more of a reminder of what was going on with Gears of War Eday, which is still scheduled to release on October 6th, 2026. It'll be available on Xbox Series, Windows, PC, Steam, and it'll be on Game Pass at launch. If you players who purchase the premium or collector's edition can receive early access starting on October 1st, 2026. But the Gears of War ED multiplayer beta was running for 2 weekends in August. The early access one just ended yesterday. It ran from August 6th to August 10th. And the upcoming open beta is available to everyone from August 13th through August 17th. So, it came out. I heard it has a few bugs. Some of the lobbies, people are dropping out. Collins was telling me that he had a lot of issues with people coming in and out of games. But one of the main things that I know
It's
that
just on the
they
losing team. They're not dropping out. They're quitting because they don't want to play with you.
what happened?
I said it's just because he's on the losing team. They're not dropping out. They just don't want to play with you, so they're quitting.
Oh, so the beta had two different. Well, one of the things in the beginning was you could. Did you change your music to the Metallica song? I know
No,
you could go to your profile instead of having the opening Gears of War, you could turn on a Metallica song and it would start ripping. But from what I was hearing too, is anything you unlock during your multiplayer beta that will roll over to the actual game when it happens. And it had two modes. It had the classic 4v4, which you could dabble in, but then it also had the what was it called? The Horde Siege, which is an evolution of Gears' iconic PvE mode. So just in case you weren't clear on what it was, the Horde Siege is our new 12-player evolution of the iconic Gears Wave-based survival mode. For the first time ever, multiple squads fight together on all new maps set within the city of Kelowna. Each squad deploys with their own mission, joining a battle in progress, crisscrossing with other squads, and tackling emergent challenges before facing an intense final fight and extraction. The combination of three COG squads, larger horde maps, and a mix of mission types create a more dynamic PvE experience where threats, objectives, and opportunities are constantly shifting. The core objective of Horde Siege is still fundamentally Gears, survive the Locust, support your squad, and use every bit of firepower you can to come out on top. So, unfortunately, I was trying to play it on the 10th because I thought it lasted all day. It stopped at like 11. I was trying to play it after work so I could get some games in. So I ended up missing it. I do plan on jumping on it on the 13th, but that's what I'm saying. We don't have to dive too much into it. But Andrew, you got a chance to play it. Does Gears still feel like Gears? I mean, was there enough there to be excited about, or did it? I mean, I don't know. Did it fall flat at all for you?
I only played the multiplayer, and I've never been like kind of big on the Gears multiplayer because I'm not the best at it either. it felt weird because now there's like it feels like a more dynamic sprint, like the way that you could run versus like holding A and like doing the low
Oh
crouch.
yeah,
It seemed like sprinting was like very limited on purpose though, so you're not just sprinting around. And I know they changed some things so that way it doesn't seem like you're like hopping from corner to corner like instantly. But I don't know if those changes are gonna bring more people in because if that's what turned you off before, I don't know that fixing that is just gonna get you in. As someone who didn't who's never been that crazy about it, it didn't do anything for me. That I was like, okay, well, I hope the hardcore audience still likes this because I would never ask a game to make something more to change something fundamental that a core audience loves to get somebody like me in there because then it's just not for me. Why would I want other people like, oh, let's just take out this core fundamental piece? But it was cool. I didn't know what the horde mode was. I thought it was just because I forgot he was even out until it popped up on my thing. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll play a couple games or whatever. So I did. I think it's like Ground War and then like Team Deathmatch for like the two. And so I was just playing that and like I had a fun time. But again, it's not like Call of Duty or Halo or something else where I'm going to put a ton of time into. But that horde mode, the other one you were just talking about, that actually sounded really cool. I wish I had known that before because I definitely would have dove into that. I thought it was just a classic, like, oh, survival, whatever. That other thing, like intersecting, everyone has their own objectives. That sounds pretty cool.
yeah, so it was kind of more just to put it back on you guys' radar that there will
Maybe
be
I'll try
another
that this
one.
weekend.
Yeah, coming out this weekend, and we'll have more to report on it. So leave down in the comments below, guys, if you got a chance to play it and how your thoughts were of it. So with that done, guys, we like to do what are you up to? When Andrew and I take a quick second and talk about what we've been playing and what we've been watching. Andrew, my friend, what are you up to?
As me, always with a baby, I'm just not watching much. I'm just trying to game where I can get it lately. So I have been playing Halo, and I'm playing a Beast of Reincarnation right now. I feel like it's kind of mid, and I
So do
almost
I.
put it down.
I did.
And I almost put it down, and then I was looking online, and I'm like, okay, like let me see what other people say that aren't like reviewers. Like, let's just gauge some people's reactions. And I've seen a lot of people saying like, once you get past some of the intro stuff and get like into like the mid to end game, a lot of people say like the end game's like the best and the best part of the game and the story and as far as like how everything goes. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, all right, I'll give it like a little bit more time before I consider dropping it. But at this point, I'm not exploring as much as I would want to
Right.
because it just seems like there's no point, and a lot of it's kind of the same. It's just like bland.
Well, that's the
I
game.
try.
For those that don't know, Beast of Reincarnation is the game by Game Freak, who make the Pokemon game. So a lot it was on a lot of people's radar because we wanted to see what they do that's not Pokemon. So this is a big
It
old action RPG,
it still stutters like Pokemon, so it's not a Switch issue. It's a developer issue at this point.
right?
But the rest of the gameplay is fine. Like, there's cool concepts and cool ideas to it. But again, it's just like a lot of like seems just like a lot of like mid stuff. Like it's just nothing. I don't think there's anything that stands out better than anything else to be like, okay, cool. Like this is something like they really have something here to ramp it up for number two or something like that if they can get the other stuff right. I think the thing I like the most about it because I haven't seen it in like too many other games as much since like Sekiro is like the parry system. I do like that because does give you like abilities, but it's a good way to block, and then you have to like perfect parry too. So it's gotta be like right as it like connects. So some of the fights, especially when you're fighting like some of these other like samurai like golems and stuff like that, does feel like a cool sword fight. Like you're actually like clashing swords, like doing whatever, or you're just getting torn because you're missing your parry. Because there's times too where I'm like, I'll miss the parry, so I get hit, and then that throws me off for my next one as I'm trying to time it, and throws me off for my third one. So I'm just taking all this damage. I'm like, okay, what? I'm just gonna try to hack and slash you now at this point. I do like too. Your companion, his name's like Ko.
Cool, yeah, Cool the
It's like
Wolf.
yeah, the wolf. Really cool. I like how you can like kind of almost like Final Fantasy style, like push Y, choose an ability for him, and like involve him in your combat. That felt like how like new like Final Fantasy remake is, where like you can kind of tell other people what to do and stuff. So again, it's I don't hate it, but I don't love it. But maybe I'll love it more. I really want to give it a chance because it does kind of have an interesting story, and maybe it's just taking a little bit to get there.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's on the Game Pass too, because I don't know how much I would have liked spending 60, $70 on it. Gino's playing it. He's saying he's having a good time. I was playing it. I put it down just because, not because I didn't like it. I think there is something there. It's just when I looked it up, the game's like 30 to 40 hours, and I thought it was going to be more 15 to 20. So when I looked at that, I was like, okay, well that's a big game right now, and I feel the combat's kind of the combat's fun. I feel it's just something's missing. Quite, it's not quite there. So I put it down for a minute because there's a couple things I do want to kind of knock out first. So I do plan on getting beating it though. I hope you stick with it. But that was the kind of thing though. If you want to give it a couple more hours, it's like on a 40-hour game. You know, how much more can you put in until you go okay? If mid game isn't until the 20-hour mark, that's a lot of time.
It's one of those games, like, I think people make the joke like Final Fantasy 13, like, oh, it gets good at like 40 hours in, it gets
Yeah,
good. I'm
you
like,
just gotta hang in
I,
there,
I,
brother.
I don't have that kind of time. So I'm just kind of cruising through, rushing through it. I've beaten the first boss and already moved on to like
That big
another
ass
zone.
elk thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's as far as I've got. I'm a little bit past that.
Did you beat him or you just fought him the first
Oh,
time?
I fought him the first time.
Spoilers.
I'm going back in there and looking for him.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm a bit past that. So that's
Okay.
like, it's like almost like May if you do exploring, like 5 hours, I would say ish,
Okay.
maybe
Cool.
like
Cool.
maybe less than that. And so it is cool, but then there's like lots of just random things that are annoying because you'll do like a. So I've already fought in the boss at this point. I've killed him. I've killed the big boss. I'm ready to go into the next zone. So it's like, okay, flashback memory time, which is fine. That's cool. I can do that because I'm interested in the story. But then it's like still telling me how to do stuff. Like, here's a tutorial for how to like fight this guy with like basic stuff that I'm already doing. I'm like, I just fought this big ass boss. Why are you barely teaching me like how to parry? You already taught me how to parry. Why are you teaching me how to like high assassinate something? Why are you teaching me how to like crouch when I already know how to do that? Because I've already done it. It's almost like a repeat tutorial for some reason.
Right.
So I hope it doesn't do that more, but it just seems like you really kind of slowing me down. Like once I'm kind of building up this momentum, you're like slowing me down again.
Nice. Well, yeah. I mean, hopefully, I'll pick it back up and I'll give it a go. But hopefully, it does get a lot better. So as far as
What
what
else you got going on?
I've been up to, so I was watching season 2 of Batman Cape Crusader, which premiered on July 31st, 2026. That's on Amazon Prime. It's 10 episodes long. It's way better than season 1. So if you weren't a fan of season 1, and they've actually made it as a, let me see if it says it right here. Sophomore season shifts from the standalone approach of the first season to a more serialized, yeah, film noir detective story, dude. So this one, if you were liking Mouse PI and you were liking Spider-Man noir, this is something you should definitely pick out. It's way more 40 style Batman. It's way, dude. People, there's someone dying in every episode. Like it's gritty, man. So if Cape Crusader season 1 didn't grab you, season 2 is awesome. So I would say definitely check that out. I also went to go see with Sam Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is a great movie. It's fantastic, but it's also crushing every like record. It shattered numerous records, pulling a 360 million domestic debut, surpassing Avengers Endgame for the largest domestic opening weekend ever. And it has crossed 1.32 billion in just 9 days, dude. This movie is nuts. It said a couple of things. Yeah, it set the domestic opening weekend fastest to 500 million. It's huge, man. Did you get a chance to see it yet? Do you plan on seeing it?
I haven't. I want to, but it's kind of hard because there's Resident Evil and Street Fighter back to back. So I'm kind of trying to save my, hey, will you watch my kid for me while I go to the movies cards for those a little bit? So I'm
Yeah,
like,
and Spider Man's
okay,
like almost a 3 hour. It's like 2.5 hour movie, so it's like it's not even something that you'll be back quick. It's like it's a night.
that one might be a home one for me. The other two, I have to go see those indeed.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. Then we'll definitely be covering those. So if you guys haven't seen Spider-Man, it's a great movie. Dark themes with themes of just becoming an adult and loneliness, depression. It's
Stuff
really,
I deal
really
with every
cool.
day, yeah.
Yeah, the story of my life. And no spoilers, but there's some cool characters in it that you'll get to meet. As far as what I've been playing, Cian and I share PlayStation 5. We're connected. So we were talking that he wanted to get Marvel Tokon, and I'm going to
Oh,
get
nice.
Wolverine when it comes out. So he just bought that. So I downloaded it and started playing it. I'm not a big fighting guy. Let me just read this real quick. Marvel Token Fighting Souls is a fighting game developed by Arc System Works and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It was officially announced in June 2025 and released for PS5 and Windows on August 6th, 2026. So that recently just came out. I'm not into the fighting aspect of it. It's got some really interesting combos. If you're into fighting games, so far from what I've been, it's getting great reviews. I think IGN gave it like a 9 or something like that. So it's doing really good. But I looked at it because I once I found out there's a story mode. I wanted to play the story mode. So the fighting aspect of it, there's 20 playable characters that you can split across five distinct teams of four. So in the story mode, there's five generated character or teams that you can play, and each of them follow a storyline. You get the Unbreakable X-Men, the Amazing Guardians, the Fighting Avengers, Knights of Doom, and the Samurai Outriders. I've beaten so far the X-Men and I've beaten the Avengers, and I'm halfway through the Guardians. Its story is kind of like, do you remember? Of course you do. In Dexter, the Wrestler, it's kind of like this dude who comes and just beats the shit out of planets, and anybody that loses to him, he like destroys them. So now he finally comes to Earth, and these teams need to get together to try to beat. His name's the Champion. So it's the storyline's
Cool
kind
name.
of a little generic. What's up?
I said cool name.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of generic, but the aesthetic and the style, the art style is really cool to see. And it's a lot of characters. You get to see people like Doctor Doom, Carnage, Green Goblin, Ghost Rider, and things like
If
that.
you
So, what's up?
have you seen any of the Deadpool stuff? Are you big on Instagram? Do you go on Instagram a lot?
I try my best. Wow, what's on there?
A lot of people were showing off like a lot of the Deadpool stuff that they ripped from like other games, like as an homage, not like ripped in a bad way. And I think this is the same company, if I'm not mistaken, that makes Dragon Ball Fighters
Yeah, I think so.
Z,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So like that one, like Deadpool puts down like a he puts on like a firework behind him and then does this pose, or he goes like ah, and does this pose or whatever. That it's like ripped from like Cell, like powering up, and
Oh yeah,
then
yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw
even when he's
that.
in the air, he does this other move where I think he throws like a grenade or throws a couple grenades or something, and it's Vegeta's move where he starts shooting out of his hand. But they've
Sick.
taken some stuff from like Street Fighter and different poses, and there's some other like obtuse like fighter games I've never even seen before, and like some of his attacks are from that too, like literally like one for one. So I'm like, that's so cool that they like really put like the love of like a fighting genre into somebody who could break that wall to where like it makes sense and it's not like, oh well, why is Captain America doing like the fucking I don't know
Right.
the Street Fighter pose or something? Like it makes sense for Deadpool to do this. You should go look at some of the comparisons because like they're hilarious, but they're like so cool and
I
like
did.
it's like such a love letter.
Now that you say that Cell one, I do remember seeing that. I've only fought against him so far. I haven't got a chance to be on his team. So after I do the Guardians, I'm going to do the Samurai Outriders, and then maybe I'll get a chance to play a little more Deadpool, and it's cool because yeah, you can switch between all the characters. There's Avenger there or the Avenger. There's like these Marvel team ups you can do that have like these cool crazy scenes. So and at the end, when you beat it, everyone you get to see like their story unfold, and then the credits roll. So if you do, I rolled credits on it, so I counted as beating it. But I'm not gonna. I mean, I am gonna finish all five storylines. So, so far, so good. But and I did just beat another game today while we were waiting to record. But I'll talk about that next week. So, that's the end of this episode, man. So, guys, that brings us to the end to episode 235, guys. Make sure you join us next time for episode 236. Leave down in the comments below, guys, any thoughts or comments you have on anything. But until next time, guys, my name is Craig Perales. That is Mandrew Montemere. Cheers.
See you out there.